Welcome to Bus Build Episode 2, tearing out all of the stuff on the inside of the bus. The first thing I removed in the bus were the seats. The seats were in horrible condition. They were 25-year-old seats, and the foam padding was completely disintegrating to the point that anytime you sat down or if you even touched the underside of a seat, you would get crumbly foam dust all over. It's absolutely disgusting, causing a huge mess. So I definitely took all those seats out first and foremost. They were really easy to remove. I just needed a socket wrench, and a couple of them were kind of tight, and bolts were maybe a little bit rusty on some, but overall the seats were a pretty easy removal system. And then they kind of just sat around for a little while until our city had their citywide cleanup, where they open up a lot and allow people just to dump whatever they need to. So I just kind of waited for that to get rid of the seats. And then I also tore out the black rubber flooring. Again, it was something that was pretty easy to tear out. I just had to find a loose edge and start pulling, and it just peeled pretty much right up. And then that exposed the plywood subfloor, allowed me to get a look at that, and I was really pleased. It was in really good shape. There were no big rotting areas or anything like that. So that was nice to see that the subfloor of the bus was still in good condition. I also had to remove the wheelchair lift, which was kind of a pain in the butt. The bolts were completely rusted in place, so I had to use an angle grinder to cut down the heads of the bolts and then pop the bolts down and out of the way to get the wheelchair lift loose. And then I just posted it on Facebook for free for anybody that could come get it, and had somebody come by a couple weeks later and take it off my hands. I have some videos here of me removing the lift. Also on the floor there was a secondary heater in the back. I did have the guys at the shop remove that for me. I just didn't want to deal with cutting a line that contained coolant and then making sure that line got properly reconnected to close the system of the coolant flowing through the heater for the rest of the bus. So that was one of the tasks that I definitely put off to the mechanics to take care of, because I was not confident in doing that myself. And then I tore out the fiberglass walls. They, kind of like the floor, they're pretty easy to tear out once you found a loose spot to start pulling from. One challenge were all of the screws. I had to go around and take out about, like 100 or more screws to be able to remove the walls. But once those screws were out, it was just popping it away from the wall. Whatever glue there was that may have been holding it on at one point was not adhesive anymore, so that was not a problem there. The ceiling has been taken out. We did that before we brought it to the shop a couple weeks ago. We had a warm day. The ceiling was really easy to take out, just about, 100, 200 screws, as with everything. But that just pulled down really easily. Obviously I had to take out a little lights that were in there, and then there was a little bit of styrofoam to take off the ceiling. The only challenge we ran into was around the air conditioning unit in the back. I didn't want to remove that air conditioner, so we just had to use a little rotary blade on a Dremel to cut the fiberglass as best we could around that area. Otherwise, I guess there was also a little overlap, so the ceiling went underneath the front part. I didn't want to do the front part yet, kind of trying to expedite the process of getting the bus usable. So the goal is, this seam backwards is the plan to start with. So anyway, we had to get, it was screwed. There was a screw holding that fiberglass ceiling, and my dad was here helping, and of course, you know, dads are always great for thinking outside the box, at least my dad is. And you know, we couldn't get to that screw that was up underneath here, so it's like, just drill a hole in this one. So that's what this is. This is a hole that we drilled into this fiberglass to access the screw that was in the other fiberglass, so that we could get that piece out. And there was one on that side too. So that was kind of a useful little thought to get that done.